like to welcome everybody to this talk show with POE. It's called Spirit Session. And I am from Step by Step. My name is Stefani, Sarah. And this is a conversation about essence. And we all know how many people came to his storytelling last year. People were crawling over each other to see that. So we are going to do this my way now. So first of all, what I want to ask you is about life lessons from traveling. Yeah, big one.
Yeah,
it's a big one.
I can answer that very easily. My life lessons?
Yeah.
Well, one specific one that you think is very important.
We're all the same. I've met great people everywhere I go. I've met all kinds of people, and I just realized that we're really all the same. We're all connected in some way, shape, or form. We're all connected. As simple as that. I don't have to get too much deep.
So I remember a conversation that we had last year about because he was unable to attend my talk show, and I asked him like, can we incorporate a part of you in my talk show? And he said, you said something about fragile songs and how it's really affecting you, that you can't do anything about it. That's really gonna make a difference in a way. And then you suggested something about how we should all be in unison and put that in a video, like physically, right? I can share that, right? Yeah. So, keeping it current, I hope you all have seen Shake the Dust by now, like Nas's documentary.
Have you seen Nas's film? If you haven't seen Nas's film yet, go watch it. You're gonna see how beautiful hip hop is healing the world.
For sure. I've seen it last night here at IBE actually. And so the question that I asked my other panel members last year, I'm gonna ask this to you now. What kind of mindset do you have when you enter a fragile zone to like teach, or and how do you approach it differently?
I kind of approach it like my mother. To be honest, I take it as it comes. I never plan. I never think, oh, this is going to happen, I should do this or that. I never plan like that. I kind of basically, at that moment, that situation is occurring, and whatever situation it is, I take it in for what it is, and I try to step back and see what is, if it's an aggressive situation, if it's a non-reasonable situation, if a person doesn't want to rationalize or reason or anything, I just listen. I think the best thing to do is listen to the person, because many people sometimes just want to be heard. They just want to get it out, you know what I mean? And so for my mom said, for a woman, I think the woman always says, the man never listens, So she said, be a person that listens and pays attention to what's going around you. So you can honestly give an opinion through that experience. But if you don't listen and you get emotional and you get angry, then a wall happens and then nobody is helping the situation because everybody is too angry to deal with it. So the way I deal with it is I step back, I embrace, it's like a Buddhist teaching, I embrace the teaching, the chaos. It's called a chaos, when everything's falling apart. I embrace it and just try to see what is this situation trying to teach me. That's how I kind of take it. Instead of getting angry, instead of getting frustrated, because after everybody gets angry or frustrated, there is a lesson that you learn from it. So the next time that same situation happens, how do I say it? If it happens, Jerry, turn that off, homie. It's an aggravating situation. No, but you know what I mean? Thank you. So when that situation happens, usually when you have an experience, and the second time that same experience happens, you don't react the same way because you already know how to handle it. So what I try to do is not try to react instantly, even if it's the first time I have that experience. I step back and I try to see what it's trying to teach me. Okay, what lesson is there to be, you know? And that's kind of how I approach the situation. I kind of just step back and look at it for what it is and just say, are you okay? Everything okay? No? You want to talk? No? Want to have a beer? No? Okay, cool. You know, that's how I approach it.
Basically, you're waiting for people to open up.
Yeah.
In those kinds of situations.
Yeah.
So you actually already made a bridge because I was wanting to talk about the female perspective, you know? Because you said that the female intuition is something that you hold very high in regard.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, for me, my parents divorced when I was 7 years old. So the person that raised me was my mother. All right. It's not easy to raise a boy, you know, a wild boy. Climbing trees, not going to school, hanging out on the block, you know, trying not to get into trouble, so the mother's always behind me, you know? So I gotta be honest, the man physically is stronger, but spiritually, emotionally, a woman is a lot stronger, right? Because I saw my mother do it, and I see many women do it, you know? They deal with a lot of our stuff. You know, on top of their stuff. They carry the child. They give birth to the child. The pain they endure during that birth, none of us can imagine. But that has to, something coming out of you have to, you know? So the woman for me is the strongest human being there is on this planet. So for the fellas, cherish them, respect them, all right? And let them teach you about Mother Nature, life, because the woman does that. You understand what I mean? That's what I feel about my mother. Cool? All right.
If there's any questions, I'm not going to do this all the time, but if there's any questions, you can do that as well. Okay? Just let it happen organically. Are there any big sources of inspiration for you? It doesn't matter what it is, if it's divine or if it's your brother or music, anything. That's
all that you mentioned right now
is everything.
Is all my inspirations. You know, like I say again, life is an inspiration itself. Every day I wake up in the morning. Do you guys know what affirmations mean? An affirmation?
Repeating.
Like an affirmation is, how many people wake up in the morning and you wake up and the first thing you think is like, I feel really bad. Who does that sometimes? Okay. That means you're starting your day that way. Words are powerful. Words can either help you grow, they can build people or destroy people. Okay? So every morning, no matter how I feel, I wake up, look at myself in the mirror, thank God first, whatever God you pray to. If you believe, you don't believe, you have to thank life for seeing the next day. You understand what I mean? I do that every day, and I say today, it's going to be a good day. I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to conquer any fear that comes my way. You understand what I mean? I do that every single day. Even if my spirit is a bit low, I make sure I bring out positive words out of my mouth. Because later on, it will help me become better and those around me. Gandhi says one main thing. Gandhi's a big inspiration. All right?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Buddhist aspect.
You know, I'm not a Buddhist, but I listen to good people. And Gandhi always says, if you want change in the world, it's a cliche nowadays, but if you want change in the world, you have to be that change. You. So if I'm complaining all the time, then I'm part of the problem. Okay? But if I show by example, then I'm part of the result. I'm part of the, equation. Does that make sense to you guys? So every day, no matter how hard life gets, I try to be a positive role model for myself and for those around me. Okay? And, so life is an inspiration.
I get you. Speaking on daily life, like this is affirmation, that's one thing. But what are some other things that you do in the way you live your life, your lifestyle?
Oh.
Health-wise maybe, or
You gotta get
even
specific.
more than affirmation? Well, me personally,
For me,
I don't eat meat anymore.
Okay, my
and
diet,
like-
most people that know me.
Yeah.
I try to keep a real positive diet. I feel that we are what we eat. If you eat poison, you're gonna
Straight up.
feel bad. You know what I mean? And that's gonna show. I try to study. I try to I do. I
By study you mean? Can you
I
be
study by
more specific?
researching foods, researching my blood type, see what's good for my kind of body, because everybody has a different DNA, you know what I mean? So I search to see what's good for my kind of DNA, what foods not to mix, because the way we eat nowadays is, we eat acid with citrus, with carbohydrates, and everything is mixed. When our body wasn't designed to do that. That's why you see kids getting sick, or tumors, or cancer, and all that. Who's had a family member with cancer? I don't want to get too personal. Nobody here? One person? So you know how I feel. I have friends with cancer that I've lost, and some that have survived. And when they were going through their chemo, I kind of asked, I was curious because those are my friends. So I went online and I started searching and looking through books to see what causes cancer, or how does cancer continue in somebody's body. And I realized, or I read, that tumors in your body, lymph nodes, cancer, all this feeds off sugar. Okay, it grows off sugar. A lot of other things too, but mostly sugar really makes it strong. Okay? But if you're drinking Coca-Cola, soda, fake juices, sugar in your coffee, sweets, croissants, chocolate. I mean, all this is sugar, all day long. If you don't realize how much sugar you're eating, you're putting your kids, your family, yourself, all at risk to maybe get sick. So I research a lot of things to try to keep myself healthy, longevity, and hopefully it inspires somebody else. Like those that are keeping healthy, like each one teach one brother here, very healthy
For
brother.
sure. Hi, Michael.
What I mean? So I think research is your best medicine, okay? I think knowledge is your best medicine. Everybody understands things differently, okay? So whatever works best for you as people, the way you learn, the way you want to search, I think it's your journey, it's your way. I think that's, just do your research. I think researching, learning is a big inspiration for me. When I learn something new, or somebody throws a topic or says something that sparked a light in my head, I go and I search it. And then I research it, I cross-reference. You guys know what cross-referencing is? Yeah? Like I check if it's true or not, or,
From multiple sources?
Multiple sources, yeah. And I kind of just check how it works. And then I take tests on myself. Okay? I try different diets for myself. I try different ways of meditating. I try different ways of being with people, just to test myself. You guys understand what I mean? And it's helped me grow. I'm an IBE sitting in front of a group of people that I don't know what, you know what I mean? I'm just sharing what I can, bro,
So, speaking of research, have you ever gone deep into your own roots?
Puerto Rican?
Well, for example, and even deeper than that, maybe go.
Well, I don't know. As a human being, I've only gone, as my coach, I'm Puerto Rican and Bolivian. So I dug a little bit for the Bolivian side, on my father's side, to understand the people of Bolivia, South America. And then my Nativo side, my Puerto Rican side, Borinquen side, Boricua side is the original term. And I searched a little bit to find out about the Tainos and stuff. But that's minimal research. I'm digging to find myself more. You know what I mean?
But you have been to South America? You've been to Bolivia?
Yeah.
And what did you do?
Okay, well, recently I grew up, my parents divorced when I was 7. My mother took me to Puerto Rico. And I lived in Puerto Rico, and my grandmother would put me on the guido, el cuatro, la conga, how to grow coffee, because she had a finca. A finca is like land, and she would grow her own coffee and her own food. And so she taught me all that, because a city kid, you don't know how to plant anything. So she taught me how to plant things and, just stuff like that. So in Bolivia, same thing. My family in Bolivia just taught me a lot about life, about the Latino side, What else? I did a pilgrimage. I did like a vision quest. I went to the Amazons, and I wanted to test myself out. So I went for a week in the Amazons, and so I went to Peru. I had a gig in Peru called Pura Calle, so they took me to Peru. But while I was there, I found out, because I didn't know, Machu Picchu was on another city. So I said, I want to check out Machu Picchu and feel the energy there. So I went to Machu Picchu. And then I ended up befriending a guy named Jorge, and he taught me a lot and brought me into Machu Picchu when the tourists weren't there at a certain time at night. And he really broke down, the city's built on crystals. Under the city, there's a crystals. And those crystals...
You mean a crystal cave for people who don't know?
Caves, yeah, but the whole mountain's that way.
Right.
So there's a certain opening in the cave that the sun comes in and it gives it power, because the crystal's sucking the power. He made me come at sunrise and stick my forehead on the crystals under the city that no tourists really go. And he didn't charge or anything, it was free. Maybe he charged other people, but not me. And so I did it, and he did this whole ritual with me. And I just learned a lot about spirituality, about life, about the 3 dimensions in life. He believes that the first person in Machu Picchu area came out the water. And then there's 3 windows that they represent in Machu Picchu. You have where they say the reptilian, like the water, came out, and the first human, or the next human, is the first window. Second window is where we are now. Then third window is the falcon. They represent the falcon, takes flight, which means the heavens. Okay? So I learned a lot about just the way the natives live, about how they feel about women. They had this time clock or map. They had a universal map. But it was 2 bowls in a rock, like 2 holes in a rock. When it rains, it fills up with water, or when it don't rain, they put water in it. And wherever the earth is shifting, whatever solar system is reflecting in that water is their map, and they would explain it to the rest of the people, okay, of Machu Picchu, okay? So he asked me, everything's a bit bigger and smaller. And he asked me, what does that resemble? And I said, well, that's your map. I go, but it also represents life, right? And he said, yeah. And he goes, it represents people. He goes, it represents a man and woman. And I said, okay, yeah, it represents. He goes, which one is the man? And then I said, the small one. And he said, why do you say that? I said, because of the beginning of your question. I said, because the woman is the strongest of us, And he said, you're exactly right. Machu Picchu thought exactly the same thing. The bigger bowl represented the woman, the smaller bowl represented the man. They had these caves, a beautiful cave in the middle of the city. They were shaped as a womb, as a woman's womb, okay? But it was a big cave, okay? So you walk through that cave, but this cave keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller, until by the time you get to the end, the only way you can get out is if you get out in baby position, in fetus position. Wow. Okay? So he said whenever anybody felt like they lost themselves, of the people, they would reverse life and go back into their mother, of the mother nature, and exit by the other end and be reborn again to clean out their spirits. Okay? So when he explained that to me, it really gave me a better perspective of just life in general, Mother Nature and stuff like that. So, yeah. I hope that was okay.
I think that's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, you can clap for that.
Oh wait, I forgot about the Amazons. Okay, so after Machu Picchu, I took a flight to a city called, there's Cusco, and there's, I think it's Cusco it's called, okay? So it's the city of the Amazon. Then from there you take a 2-hour drive to the Amazon River, okay? From the Amazon River you get on a boat, and it takes you to the opening of the Amazon, and then you have to register your name, because if you don't come back, they know that you died in the Amazon. You know what I mean? So I went in with one guide, and the guide took me in, and we spent 1 week in the Amazon. No electricity, you had to hunt for your food, no water, you had to learn to live, okay? A machete is your best friend, okay? The Amazon, the only reason I went was to see how conditioned I have been, like how conditioned has the city life made me. You guys understand what that means?
You're reading my mind. It's crazy.
Yeah, okay. Conditioned of like school systems don't teach us how to live all the time. Okay. So I wanted to not live for a little bit, to feel how it feels to be thirsty and not be able to get water when you want to, not being able to get food anytime you want. You know. So every day. You're eating one time. If you hunt and you're not lucky and you don't hunt anything, you don't eat that thing, you know? So you have to eat a leaf off a tree or chew on a tree bark. Or if you can't go to the bathroom or something, you get sick in the Amazon, there's all these different plants and roots that the guide shows you to give you if you're feeling sick. You guys understand what I mean? So doing that for a week, I came back completely rewired inside and also spiritually, emotionally drained, you know? But I'll be honest, it made me a better man, and it made me respect and appreciate more what I have here, you know? And it also made me respect the earth a lot more, you know what I'm saying? The experience in the Amazon. If you ever have a chance to challenge yourself on a vision quest or go somewhere, I suggest you do it. You know what I mean? As people. You know?
So then, that is a big question. When you come back to the real world and doing events and not sleeping, and how do you take that part of the authenticity, what you just had in the Amazon or wherever it is, where there's peace and quiet? How do you take that and keep it when you go back to this hectic life, you know, that we all know in hip-hop so much?
Well, when you experience life and death situations, like in the Amazon, you know, you got chimpanzees, bamboos, leopards, or some sort of leopard, snakes, anacondas. Like, you're sleeping on a little mattress with a mosquito net, you know, and you wrap plastic around these trees so that you can feel the snakes at night slithering on the plastic, you know. And there's crocodiles, and there's, in the water they have a thing called the cañero fish, okay? If you piss in the water, it's gonna go inside your private part, and then it hooks inside there, and then it sucks your blood, all right? So I didn't go in the water, so I didn't shower for a week. So imagine how bad that is, all right? But the guide says, look, you have to take a shower, you have to wash, if not, other bacterial infections are gonna get you, you know what I mean? So I would grab a little cup and look in it with a flashlight. I would look in it and see if I could see anything, and then I'd pour little, you know what I mean? So I was trying, you know, it was just that, those life situations, you know, really, when you come back here, to keep center, you realize that what most people are complaining about really is not that serious. Yeah. It's really not that important or not that serious. If you're complaining about, I don't like this pizza, I don't like this, or I don't like that, or get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, shoes, clothes, this, none of this is important. You know what I mean? What's important is about living and helping each other live. And that's why it doesn't affect me so much. When I hear the arguments and stuff, I just look at both people, and I've seen some arguments here, throughout the festival, and I look at them. Are you guys serious? Do you guys hear yourself what you're arguing about? And then they, and I let them think about it, and I let them do whatever they're gonna do, but I say a few words because I realize it's not as serious, So yeah, don't let things affect you so much. If somebody stepped on your sneaker or bumped into you, just say, oh, excuse me, and just keep moving on. You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. Be the change, you guys.
Anybody have any questions? Maybe? No?
Life-changing moments.
Oh,
I think you missed that part.
Yeah, you missed that part. The Amazon was a life-changing moment.
Another one?
Another one? This is a sad one. Growing up with a friend and losing your friend. You understand what I mean? Losing my friend to violence, okay? Watching my friend get shot 8 times, and he's laying on the ground and he's looking at you, and you can't help him because you're afraid to touch him because you don't want to hurt him more, And when he breathes in and breathes out, you see his chest caving in and the blood coming. That's a life-changing experience. You learn to appreciate more, and you realize things are not that serious. And then all this, you know what I'm saying, is like, yeah, that's a life-changing experience. Cherish the people around you, y'all.
So,
you know what I'm saying? Love the people every day that you love that are around you.
Yeah, for sure. So, because death is for everybody a really big thing to understand, or try to understand. What do you know about it now? What do you think about the concept of not having somebody that you care about no longer being there? Or maybe being there in another way?
I feel that it's still there in another way.
Yeah.
All right? My grandmother passed away. I feel her every day. She's my protector. She's looking over me, and I feel that. My friend will live on through memories and dreams. So those dreams and memories are different energies teaching you,
Right, different energy is the right word.
Communicating with you. So they never leave. If you've lost somebody you love, it's part of your family, mother, father, whatever, I feel for you, but just remember their blood, their DNA is in your body. All right? It runs through your veins. They never leave you, ever. So be happy about that. They're with you in here. You understand what I'm saying?
So your dreams, right? Have you ever had like creativity come through your dreams, like dance-wise?
Oh, dance-wise?
Yep.
Yeah, I think everybody
or
here.
music-wise, whatever.
Yeah, I think,
creativity.
I remember dreaming of a move, waking up at 3:30 in the morning, wake up from the move, from the dream, and I move my bed and start practicing at 3:30 in the morning because you get an idea. I think, how many people has that happened to? Ideas. But yeah, creativity comes in many ways. It's like through music, through dreams, through memories, through kids dancing, through cartoons, through everything. So yeah, I could get inspired by how Soul Trotter's laying there. That's a freeze to me.
Sure. What is unity to you? How do you define that?
This.
Wow. Thank you all for coming. That's unity. Yeah. Thank you. Shout out to yourselves. I think I want to have you freestyle a little bit. Is there something that you want to get off your chest?
Yeah, Paul on freestyle. I want to
I
hear
wake up in the morning, eat Captain Crunch. I eat the same thing for dinner and the same for lunch.
Yeah. More. I want more. Please.
That's not my rhyme. That's an old school rhyme. No, I don't know.
No.
Yeah. Any questions?
did you came in contact with the hip hop?
How I came in contact with hip hop? The streets, you know? But I would say it was always there before it was called hip hop. The ghetto games and just the people around me, the funk. I would say my parents, the way they danced, okay? Soul Train, American Bandstand, just people dancing and gatherings and social gatherings. But before it became, let's say, I was a strutter, I was a popper, okay? But in my neighborhood, we call it strutting, before I was a b-boy. So let's say we talk about that element. Strutting wasn't really considered hip-hop. It got united with that later, you know what I mean? Through Afro-Bambaataa and all that. So it was something that we were doing already. We were roboting, miming, and stuff like that. So I think that street game, watching that, got me involved more in what was happening around the blocks, okay? Then my cousins came from New York, Staten Island to be exact. They're kind of a mixture of New Jersey and Staten Island. And yeah, one of them spun on their butt, you know? And I was like, what's that? You know, and next thing you know, they said it's breaking. And I said, okay, cool. You know, and then I saw it. And then, you know, you hear records. Before that, I heard Rapper's Delight. It came out when I was really young, and I liked the song. Okay, I think, yeah, just the streets, just everything that was happening. And when it was given the title hip hop, I was like, okay, it's called hip hop, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? So when people gave it a title, it was just something we did. I love the writing on the walls, I love the colors, I love the energy. I was a roller skater. I used to roller skate in discos, you know, in all the roller rinks. So, and there's a moment in time in the roller rinks that we used to go, in Puerto Rico, we used to go to a place called Disco Patin. It was disco skates, in English, I guess. In California, it was called Cal Skate, you know. In New York City, they had a roller skating rink that I went when I was really, really young. I think it was Skate USA. I gotta ask, I don't remember the name, I was really young. But the roller skating, you're dancing with your girl, you're rexing, they're playing a lot of good grooves, kind of like doing hustle or disco with skates, you know? But there's a moment when the DJ would, the people playing the music would say, everybody clear the floor, take off your skates, and everybody had to put on the sneakers, come back onto the floor and dance, okay? Some of my battles actually happened at roller rinks, because now we would skate a little bit as, you know, 12, 13 years old, 14 years old. We would skate a little bit, take off our skates, and we would go to the beginner area. There's like always a separate part in the roller rink for those that don't know how to roller skate. They're like here in a little square. And we would battle there. Everybody would go in there so everybody can skate over here, and we would all battle in here. You know what I mean? And that was a big introduction for me. I met a lot of people through roller rinks and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I got involved in the culture. Yeah.
Is music, sorry, continue on?
No, go ahead.
To me, I have had the experience many times when I'm really sad or, you know, super hype. There's always music to go with it. But I also, now that I'm getting older, I would also call it, in bad times, healing. Like, for real. And I was just wondering if you had an instant where you were like, this music, you know, I will never forget that moment, or when I heard that, or... Yeah?
Yeah, many moments. You know what I mean?
I want to hear all of them.
Okay, well, what I remember, or what happens to me a lot, even here, even this afternoon, this morning when I arrived, I was just top rocking, having a good time, kind of looking at the floor, you know. All of a sudden, the DJ switched the song, you know, and I went ooh, and when I went ooh, and I opened my eyes, the same person standing in front of me did the same thing. Ooh, and we looked at each other like, yeah, you know, because they felt like me at that one moment. You know what I'm saying? We felt the same. So to me, that's a spiritual thing because it makes me realize I'm not alone in this world, and somebody feels exactly like me and is reacting to the same song and bringing joy and happiness from that song at the same moment. So yeah, that experience to me shows that music is a connection and a powerful thing. You know what I'm saying? There's moments when, you know the song, If I Had to Live My Life Again, I wouldn't change a thing. You know that song? Yeah? Every time they play that song, I go in and I'm just free. Okay? Because that song, it's telling you, what would you change? What would you not change? I would do it all over again. Because every experience has taught me something.
It's valuable.
Valuable.
Yeah.
Bad, good, whatever, is valuable. You know? So.
Is that also maybe advice to the kids? Like, if it doesn't move you, why are you moving? Because there's a lot of bad music out there right now.
There's a lot of bad music, you guys. Stuff on the radio sucks. You know what I mean? It's not saying nothing. The groove might be dope. But I'll be honest, the good thing about breaking, we still listen to revolutionary music. If you really listen to it, the words in these songs,
Timeless messages.
timeless messages, spirits, everything is incredible. You understand what I mean? If you listen to Just Begun, who's heard Just Begun? How many of you know what it means? You all raise your hand, you heard it. And you probably heard it 1,000 times, right? But you never listened to it, to see what it means. You know what I'm saying? It's talking about the blacks, the whites, okay? Peace will come. This world will rest once we have togetherness. It's that simple, you know? And when he screams, ah, that scream is because he's letting out everything that's holding him down or her down. That scream in that song. So when you see the intensity of a B-boy or B-girl reacting to that song, okay? Like Kenny Swift, the Wiggles that know what the song means, okay? And the spin, that means they really, really feel the words, the struggle, that revolutionary feeling. You understand what I mean? That's the beauty of our culture. We do listen to hip hop, but we mainly dance to funk. You understand what I mean? And those lyrics, if the DJ leaves the lyrics, listen to it, it's gonna change your life. You know what I'm saying? In a good way. Fall in love with the music. The music is the key, you guys. You understand what I mean? It's the key, 100%. You know what I mean?
Have you read any good books, like, you know, because I don't necessarily know if we all read as much as we should, because I think the time of the media is taking over. We all watch a lot of videos and get our information from the internet. But is there any books, like maybe old books that you would, not that you're old, I'm not saying this and that
I'm old,
at all.
it's okay.
I'm just saying that,
I
you
look
know,
younger than you guys, I'm okay.
not like, you know, books that have meant a lot to a lot of people. And if you want to share that.
I read a book called The Four Agreements. Do you guys know it?
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, The Four Agreements. That helped me a lot. It's about being impeccable with your word. Okay? Very important. It's like 4 agreements with yourself. It's from a guy named Don Ruiz. Don Ruiz, right? Don Ruiz. Yeah, and also the 5 people you meet in heaven. Okay? I think it's the 5 people in heaven. Yeah. And Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Okay? There's also a movie on that. It's called Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Very good book. Wow. I've read the Quran, the Bible, a lot of Buddhist teachings. There's a book that's...
When you say this, right, you've read it front to back.
Yeah. Front
Straight
to back.
up.
And still reading front to back again. Because sometimes you don't understand everything at the first time. So you reread it again. And reread it again. You know? So, yeah. So I would say, yeah, start with the 4 agreements if you want to. You know what I mean?
But how would you motivate somebody to read a book? Or a kid? I mean...
A young kid.
Yeah, for example.
Well, how school does it. I would put it into a game. You know, a game, make it attractive. Make it fun. Because, you know, sometimes researching is not fun. But if you're interested in the topic, then it is fun. So you gotta keep the person interested. You know, maybe by pictures or enthusiasm or, you know.
Life experience.
Life experience, yeah. It's the best way. Make it fun. You know? Yeah.
Any questions, you guys? Don't be shy, please. Yeah? You in the front?
Yeah, when you hit like a roadblock as far as creativity goes, and then
Dancing?
yes, or yeah, mostly I am interested in dancing, and then my first premonition is you mentioned this with anger. My first natural instinct is I'm getting angry at myself. But then, you know, that's kind of the irony. It's like I'm trying to heal, I'm trying to decompress through dance, yet this dance is stressing me out. I get, lose a battle, or whatever.
So basically,
something of that nature.
yeah.
What do you think? How do you?
Her question is, how do you handle a creative block?
Yeah.
Because the emotion that usually comes up is that you get angry or you get frustrated, and that's really not what you want, because that's not helping the problem at all.
And the music today isn't really like inspiring.
Right, and the music is not inspiring.
The
That's
DJ's
true.
supposed to help me out, but you're not helping
Are
your
you-
sister out. Like you're playing like throwing things in my face.
Help a
like,
sister
you're
out,
helping
yeah.
me out, man. You know?
I understand exactly what you mean, because you're talking on a competition basis, right? Right. A little bit, that frustration.
All of it now.
All of it? Well, for me, like the way when I reach different blocks. Okay. As I get older, my body's changing, so I'm finding new ways to train, new ways to stay active, new ways to stay creative, new ways to stay motivated. Okay. So I'm constantly giving myself challenges, but not challenges to frustrate me. Okay. It's more how you take it. You know, if I know I'm gonna grow, then I'm looking forward, but I'm patient. I have patience. So it's about being patient. So I know I'm gonna get there. I don't know when, so I might as well enjoy that journey. You know, there is gonna be moments when I get upset, you know, but I say, okay, why am I upset? What's going wrong? Let me step back. Let me see what's happening here, okay? So to help me through these creative blocks, I give myself concepts, okay? I try to keep it interesting for me. So let's say, for instance, what I used in my workshop with the ladies, I would say, get into a baby freeze, and I want to create 60 exits out of my baby freeze. Okay? So I go into a simple move, and I just create different ways to get out of it. Okay? So I go boom, 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 one. Go back, turn my head, boom, boom, two. You know, I just find different ways. And then I write them down, or videotape them, or whatever. Then I keep trying to build those blocks. Then I'll stand up, and I say, okay, now I have to create 5 ways to get into my baby freeze. You know, then I mix them with the 5 exits that I just created. Then I have 5 little small, new ways of moving, new creativity. I practice that. Then I do another 5, then another 5, another 5. Next thing you know, you add that together, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I have 30 different rounds from one move with 30 different entrances and 30 different exits. And then if I don't remember them, what I do is I pay attention to the conversation that's happening in the circle. You know, instead of me thinking in my head what I'm gonna do, I'm watching the dancers get busy. And the dancers will do something similar or an idea similar to mine that I've done before. You know, not saying it's that they did it for me, but they'll just remind me of something that I've practiced. And then I get my arsenal and vocabulary and memory and ideas from the people that I watch. So I'm feeding off their energy, the conversation, and I'm building their conversation. I'm building onto it. And this is how I keep growing. But if I'm walking around looking at the ground and thinking of my moves and somebody's dancing, I'm missing the conversation that they're giving me and that I can build on through that. Do you understand what I mean? You know? So that's the way I like to give myself concepts. Sometimes I'll top rock and spell my name on the ground. You know, and it changed my flowing. You know? Sometimes I'll look at the ground and do numbers. You know? Like I'll jump through my body, lay on the ground with my hand here, that's a 1. Somebody tells me, draw 10, Paul. And I say, all right, jump through my leg, boom, 1. Kick into a backspin, and in a freeze, that's my O, my 0. So I do 10, bam, you know? And then I'm just playing with ideas, and it became fun. And then I got out of my creative block. You understand what I mean? Did that help? You know?
I think you're actually giving the same advice about observing and listening. You said I listen, and when I'm blocked, I observe, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah.
Any other questions, you guys?
Yeah. A lot of people speak on the power of hip hop, how it's very healing for a person, and I agree 100% with that. But for yourself, have you ever encountered moments or experiences in your life where you feel like hip hop conflicts with yourself or what's expected of you outside of that?
Thank you.
That's a very good question.
Can you repeat it?
Did everybody hear that? He said if I've ever experienced in my life that hip hop can heal people, it can heal many situations, but have I ever experienced that a conflict when hip hop wasn't as positive or wasn't as healthy?
Or I guess, in another word, something that you couldn't have gotten from hip hop.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, right. That's a deeper question.
Yeah, what I didn't get from hip hop.
That you need to get from other life sources.
Well, for me, I'll be honest, hip hop is life for me. Everything I do in my real life, I do in my hip hop life. You understand what I mean? For me, there's no separation. Anything that goes wrong in life outside, we cause the problem. Anything that becomes wrong in the hip hop life, we've caused the problem. So it's really not the problem of hip hop or the topic, it's the person involved in it. You understand what I mean? So what I've learned is step back, see what's happening in the situation, don't blame anybody, just see what's happening and learn from that situation. You know what I'm saying? Did that answer a little bit? Want me to get deeper with it? Or you want me to say
That's
like
why I'm here.
You want me to say a situation like that has a conflict?
Yeah, for example.
Okay, let's say for instance, judging competitions, for instance. Everyone puts their heart and soul in it. You know what I mean? And I can see they've traveled. Maybe we don't know the situation that everybody goes through to travel, to get here. You know, so maybe some people are really struggling. They won't have rent to pay or a girlfriend to go back to because they left just to be here. You know what I'm saying? So they're really worried. So it might create a big problem. You understand what I mean? So because of the passion that you have for something, the drive, that might cause conflict. So what you have to do is find that balance to make that conflict not a problem. How it works. You know, how to make the person understand or not understand, but also how to make yourself happy, you know, and not cater your life around just that person. Or you understand what I'm saying? You guys understand what I'm saying? You know, it's let's say for instance, I see so much passion when people battle, and then when they lose, it might have been the best I've ever seen that person dance. Maybe they just reached a spiritual level that they released themselves for the first time. Out of all their sets, out of all their restrictions of thinking so much of what they're gonna do, maybe for the first time they let go. And they're the happiest. But let's say it wasn't enough to beat in the competition the other guy. So all their crewmates and everybody's like, yo, what are you doing? It's the best he's ever danced. Why did you lose? And as a judge, all the judge voted for the other side. It hurts me because spiritually I know that guy just reached another step in his life of how he's free or she's free, you know? But due to the competition, it broke their heart. They're confused. You know what I mean?
This
You
is
understand?
real powerful,
You know what I mean? They're confused. So it's up to me, you know? And they hate you for it. They're yelling at you, they're dissing you at the hotel, they're talking to you, why did I lose? It was the best I've ever danced. And they're not approaching any other judge. But they approach me because I'm usually the one, hey, how you doing? You know, talk to, you know, they say, I can talk to Paul, I'm gonna talk to Paul. But then they get heated, and I try to explain as peaceful as I can, like my brother, it was the best I ever saw you dance in all the competitions I've seen you dance. You know what I mean? But sorry, the other guy won the competition, but you're on your way up. Keep doing that. You understand what I mean? But for that time, that person is heated. It's caused a conflict. So the next thing you know, on the internet, they're talking stuff and starting rumors and this, that. And I read it and I see it and it hurts. But I know with time, the person will grow and understand or overstand what you meant.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They will overstand the situation. And that's happened many times. I've had people angry with me, and then 2 years later they walk up to me and apologize. And they say, Paul, now I know what you were saying back then. Now I see. And then I say, great. Don't tell me, tell your fans on the internet because they're attacking me. You know what I mean?
Still didn't let it go.
But yeah, did that help? That help? You know, the politics of this world. The politics of the game, you guys, and every genre of life, you know, don't let it get to you. There's going to be moments when you feel really heavy. I'm in a really heavy moment in my life, you know, but you got to go on. You got to keep moving. You got to be positive. You got to help others. And that helping others is karma. And that karma will come to you. That energy will come to you. And at the end of the road, it's all worthwhile. You know, when you see your goal is reached, or when you see somebody smile, you know, it changes your spirit and heart inside. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy that. Don't let politics ruin anything, you know?
How do you take care of the spiritual energy in everyday life?
How do I take care of my spiritual energy in everyday life? I pray. You know? I pray. That's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? As simple as that. I'm no religion, but I'm all of them. You understand what I mean? I'm that way. I listen. I believe there's a path for everybody. I believe everybody has witnessed miracles in those paths to reinforce their belief. By me being who I am, I realized, you know, I just realized peace, man. POE stands for peace on earth. I'm searching every day for that. You know what I mean? Some days are strong, some days are weaker. When they're weaker, I talk to friends. I pray with friends. I put on some music. I let go. I ask God, whatever God you pray to, or the source or power, I say, yo, help me through this day, and I guarantee you I'll do the best I can tomorrow and today. You know? That's all you can do. That's all you really can do. You know?
Thank you. So the flip side of what you just were talking to him about is people lift you up a lot, you know? And we don't do the stardom thing in hip hop, but sometimes, you know, kind of has little facets of it. So my question to you is, how do you stay open-hearted and level-headed? And maybe that's not, you know, it's not Michael Jackson comparison, but I'm saying like, I see the way people approach you with so much respect, and they want to tell their stories to you, and you know, and I've seen from my friends, I mean, Sonic has become a good friend of mine, how much energy he gives away to people, how many people he talks to during events, when he leaves the hotel, when it doesn't matter what he's doing. So how do you stay level-headed, and how do you keep your, because maybe you start to believe all this after like so many years, you know what I mean?
I think getting rid of ego, get rid of your ego. You know, hip hop was created by kids, you guys. I'm gonna build a little bit on that question. If I fall out of the question,
yeah. I'll bring you back. I'll bring you back.
Hip hop was created by kids. Was created by kids. Being free, right? Now we're older kids. You know, now we're older. That, like, if you realize the honesty in a kid just being creative, you know, but also in a kid, you have a lot of insecurities, a lot of wondering, what do they want? What, you know, they might be going through something in life or whatever. So there's this I factor. When hip hop was given to you or to us, there's this I. Look at me. Look at this. Look at that. Everything about hip hop is based on that, right? But remember, it was created by kids. Kids love attention. You understand what I mean? Now we're big kids. We still want to rep our country. We still want to rep our crew. We still want to rep ourselves. But don't let the illusion or the anger or the want or the jealousy or the envy overpower the real picture. You understand what I mean? Don't let ego affect and blind you. You understand what I'm saying? And in hip hop, it happens a lot because it's the I thing. What I try to do is get rid of the I and replace it with we. You understand what I mean? We can. How do you do it? You know what I mean? And it helps me. Okay? So it keeps me grounded. To talk to you guys in front of here is terrifying for me. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't have anything planned. I had a little bit too much to drink yesterday. You know what I mean? It's like I don't have anything planned. But I'll be honest, I'll speak to you with my heart every time I talk to you. All right? I'll always be the person that you see, no matter what. You know? I mean the best for you, and I hope you mean the best for me because I see the best in you. You know? And by you guys asking me to do a talk show, I was like, why? And you said, I just want you to talk, you know? For me, it was like, that keeps me level-headed. You know what I'm saying? All the love you feel keeps you level-headed. It doesn't make me get an ego. It actually makes me more grounded and more shy.
It's the opposite?
It's the opposite. Yeah. And if I do get an ego, my mother's gonna come and
smack you upside the head. Yeah.
So that's how I stay level-headed, you guys. Stay level-headed. You know what I'm saying? Treat people the way you want to be treated. As simple as that. You know what I mean? It's no chemistry or genius or anything about that. Your parents tell you, they teach you to share, they teach you to treat people with respect. So use what they taught you in life. You know what I'm saying? MK in the building, the legit. Selfless plug.
So what kind of vision do you have for the future of these kinds of events, of hip-hop in general too? Because I think we have to stay, it's a we, I agree with you completely. We have to keep each other in check. But I also think that it's easy to become famous and it's easy to become, you know, if you put a video online and you're really good, everybody is walking behind you all of a sudden. You get followers, so how do we stay authentic, and how do you see this in the future? I mean, IBE will always, in my book, be a part of keeping it real, you know? But you've had a lot more experience than I have. So where do you see it going?
I can't answer that, to be honest. I just hope it continues like this. I hope, you know.
I'm not specifically talking about IBE, more of like our culture.
Yeah, I just hope it keeps healing the children. You know, that's all I care about. You know, I just care about.
Can you repeat that? What you just said?
That it keeps healing the children.
Thank you.
You know, that's all you want, right? You want to
keep them off the streets.
Yeah,
and
you want a safe environment. Yeah. You know, hip hop's been in my life almost. I'm 45 years old. I was 12 when I started. That's almost all my life, you guys. You understand what I mean? And in a lot of your guys' life, it's probably been a big part. It has helped me a lot. You know what I mean? It taught me many things. It has introduced me to beautiful people. You know? It's the only future I want to see really is that it keeps introducing and connecting people together the way it is. That's really all I care about. You know what I mean? That people realize that how many people have somebody racist in their family? Be honest. Racist. That don't like other cultures or other color. Who has that in their family? Somebody they love that they care about. My father's racist, was racist, not anymore. All right? But he was. All right? It would hurt me to somebody you love, admire, respect, down other people. And not understand that as a kid. Why are you doing that? When you knew, you didn't know it was wrong, but you felt it was wrong. You understand what I mean? So, I realized hip-hop broke all that barriers. So to me, that's all I want to continue to do, is to really wake up people. And I've seen crews come together. People complain about super crews, people complain about many things. But I'll be honest, if I got invited today by the Ruggeds, they were missing one person, and they asked a 45-year-old man, "Po, you want to enter with us?" You know how that makes me feel? That these 20-year-old kids still want to dance with me and believe in me, and they say, "Yo, enter with us." And I'm like, "What?" And they're from Holly. You understand what I mean? To me, the connection exists, will always exist, and it should always continue that way. You guys understand what I'm saying? For me, you know, I told him, "I'm sorry, I'm judging." And I'm like, damn. And I felt like saying, "You know what, Tyrone, I don't want to judge anymore. I'm going to go enter." I felt like saying that, but then they'll get mad at me. Who's going to replace the judge? So I didn't want to stress. But yo, that's what I want hip-hop to continue. That somebody can come anywhere in the world, chill out, get invited to somebody's house, eat at their table, hang out with them, build with them, you know what I mean? Introduce their mother, their girlfriend, they trust you, you know, all that. That's all I want to see, that it continues. You know what I mean? Because it shows the world how, shows the racist that we have in our family, the racist people, it shows them that they're wrong. You know what I mean? And we are right. You know what I'm saying? That's all I care about. That's all I want hip-hop to continue to do. No segregation, no separation. You know what I mean? Elimination of that. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
You guys, there's time for questions. You have questions? I know you have a question. Oh.
After,
Does it make you angry that there is still a lot of people think that everybody in the hip-hop culture is from the street and wears a gun with him or is a murderer like that?
No.
You know, you mean the stereotype or like?
Because as my grandparents heard that I was in this hip-hop culture and they thought I was skipping school and things like that, it's making me sad.
Yeah, it makes the stereotype that people have on hip hop culture. It does hurt my feelings, you know. But when I come into a room like this and dance with everybody, my feelings go away because I realize the real stuff is still here, and the people that don't know this or see this, they're just not educated at the moment. You know what I mean? So it's up to us to show them that what they think is not real yet. You understand what I mean? So don't let it get you down. Don't let it get you frustrated, because the anger will prove to their ignorance, well, oh, he's an angry person, that's because of hip hop, oh, because of this. So you're kind of, without wanting to prove them right, you kind of feed their energy, you know? So what you do is you lay back. And
you listen and you observe.
You observe, listen and observe, and you show by example how positive. Show them videos, Show them things that are happening. Show them what's going on. And little by little, you educate them, and they begin to see that it's not what they thought. Because that has happened with many people that I know. You understand what I mean? Just stay patient. You know what I mean? Good.
Thank you for your question.
Any other questions? Somebody have one? Okay, one last question and two last questions. One in and one.
I have one small question
Uh-huh.
about like the first one is for vegetarian and the second one is how you define music and then connect to spirituality. Like see the spiritual person, like when you bring it to your life, or like if there was motivation through dance and the music, then you ended up like this.
Okay, so two questions. If I'm vegetarian, sometimes. Okay, I change and test my body to see what works best for me. As I said at the beginning of the conversation, I test myself. Sometimes I'm vegetarian, sometimes I eliminate one thing, sometimes I add things on. So I test my body to see what works best for me. You know? So yes, I have been vegetarian before. My parents are vegetarian. My mother. They're naturopaths. You know what a naturopath is? In Spanish it's called naturopata. They grow their own food. Like my mother in Puerto Rico grows her own food. They do acupuncture, Reiki, Rolfing, heating of the hands. They believe in heating the hands. Who's seen the Karate Kid? The movie Karate Kid. You know when Mr. Miyagi heats his hands?
Don't lie, you guys. You've all seen it.
You know, well, all that heating from our hands and everything, if you have an injury, put it on your stomach or here, it all works. So I learned a lot from them, you know. So I test myself out with different things on food, energies, acupuncture, stuff like that. Now to answer your question about music and dance, if it was spiritual for me, if I found my spirituality through this, I would say my parents danced all my life. Okay? My mother and my father, Latinos, Puerto Rican and Bolivian. I woke up every morning to music. I knew my breakfast was ready. Breakfast was ready in the kitchen. Time to get up when my mother played music. It was time for me to get up and go into the kitchen to eat. Okay? Yeah. So the spirituality, the rhythm, the way my mother and my father and other people were, you know, my stepfather, just the way music made them feel. The happiness in the house was a very spiritual, godly feeling. The happiness that exists in my household with my mother. So that got me closer to, I guess, happy, you know? And happiness is spiritual. Can be.
Happiness is an igniter. Is
Yeah,
that the word?
igniter.
Yeah.
It's a motivation, it's an inspiration, it's a motivator. You know, it's a way to go outside proud, you know? So it just continued. I roller skated as a kid, danced at social gatherings at my parents' house and around the block, got involved in street dancing, and I found the same joy that I felt at home through that. And through that joy, it made me from an insecure person to a secure person and a peaceful person because of the joy, the happiness that I felt from the success and connection between the people around me through the dance and music. So yeah, I did find a lot of spirituality and joy and happiness through the dance and music, family and connection. Did that answer a little bit of what you asked? Cool. Go ahead, Mama. Cool.
What do you want to be remembered for? What's your legacy you want to leave behind?
To
I
be
think we're going to
honest,
ask him that in 10 years or maybe 20 years.
I'll be honest. I'll answer that as honest as possible. I don't think about that because there's ego involved in that, you know? And if I set out to try to set a goal for legacy of that, I'm thinking too much of myself. You know what I mean? I let the people say what they're gonna say about the person. You know what I mean? So I will never say anything about myself in that way. Yeah, I let you guys talk that. You know what I'm saying? Peace.
Thank you, though. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. This was, I think, a beautiful ending to what is exactly what it was called, a spirit session, I would say.
Thanks, Stephanie. This was a new tryout.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah.
You guys helped me today. I was getting things out. Peace. Now let's dance.
Thank you. Have a good night and the rest of the festival. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.